Hello. Welcome to the stream. It's Romantic Developer Late Night Talk. And today we have issue number 223. For some reason, I think maybe it's 224. I see the title is 223, but let me quickly check on Romantic Developer channel. And I need to go to the channel. Yes, looks like it should be 24 in title. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Anyway, it would be replaced. It would be replaced by our AI. For some reason, my previous stream didn't work well. So I just noticed that and I asked my program to process that. And basically, I executed something like this. Main full process update YouTube and ID of my previous stream, and it now preparing the last chunk of the improving transcript, and then it need just to combine the transcript, execute prompts on the improved transcript, and then it just need to update YouTube. So far we can go and start our new streams. We were able to find everything we need, including Whisper and Chatbot. So we're doing everything in parallel. My Chatbot and local Whisper transcription services are operable right now to help us with current stream. And at the same time, we are waiting to properly transcribe and describe and process our previous stream. Our previous stream was in 2 hours, but the problem with that stream was that it was very low quality with so many connection issues, and I believe some part of the stream are missed. I haven't reviewed it, but yeah, most probably it's not in good shape. That's why in some subtitles we see some skipped. 1381. Oh. One second. I need to prepare. Interesting that it says that I have some subtitles at index. And index is what? 41. It's already improved transcription. Let's just look at original transcription. And let's see 41. have no idea what it's talking about. But as we see, that execution anyway was able to improve transcript and execute all the prompt and update YouTube video. Late night tech troubles, overcoming stream intelligence and login strategies. Which mostly everything about my last stream. Not everything, but login strategies. It's what we implemented for my code. And stream challenges, of course, we overcoming them. Let's just see very quickly on the description. Prompt. Welcome. 200, not 70, 23rd session when we explore. Introducing technical setup. Habit. Political. Debugging lawyer. Project migration. Grok. YouTube. Grok. You know, I like that it's provided the video sections up to end of the stream, and it has war rhetoric, martial law, Vietnam's war, then again Wi-Fi reconnection. Okay. So overall it's not bad, except it's 23rd stream, but I mean it's fine. It's probably fine. Okay. I believe we should have some. Let me just clean something in my chat, and I'm looking for my request for the news. And I am just compare some recent news from February 22nd. I will not change that request. Let's just do new chats. Let's do also with sync. And for DeepSeek, let's verify maybe it already has internet access. Let's also include sync. So all three reasoning models, all three recent. Let's just verify there are no new models. Okay, so OpenAI Deep Research Agent launch on Feb 2. OpenAI release 31st. And let me remember my request. Recent days means on or after February 22nd, 2025. You know, Geoffrey Hinton latest perspective on AI risks, and recent update of his widely followed Wikipedia profile. AI pioneer Geoffrey Hinton now warns that advanced AI system might carry 10 to 20% chance of contributing to human extinction within the next 3 decades. Hinton calls for robust governance and regulation to ensure that profit-driven development does not outpace safety measures, a perspective that adds fuel to ongoing debates about ethical AI deployments. Really, is it recent edit? Tools. Do we have any like edits here? View history. And today edit is it just removed something today, not added. Anyway, it's a good read anyway, because Geoffrey Hinton, he has, if I'm not mistaken, Nobel Prize in Physics. Let's quickly see honors and awards. First winner of prize. Yeah, Nobel Prize in Physics with John Hopfield. So, for foundation discoveries and inventions that enable machine learning with artificial neural networks. And yes, he talked about risk of artificial intelligence even 2 years ago. And he said about 30 years to 50 years for creating AGI. I think it would happen faster. Maybe not this year, but maybe in the next few years. With all that money investment into all the chips and all the techniques, of course it would happen pretty soon, I believe. But risks, of course, are very high because, yeah, humans are not so very logical, especially in their yes, I'm also a human, by the way. So we are not too logical. Our behavioral change could go from love to hate, from rational to irrational, and many humans are actually not think too much. They lead by emotions, and it's so understandable that it's so easy to implant proper emotions and proper knowledge into human with media, with internet, and with all that information which is widely available. But because if you have too many information available, it's always very hard to choose which to use, which to believe. And humans normally can lead to anything. And of course, AI, once it could see it, I'm not sure if what would be the next step for AI. Yeah, so of course, we have a high risk. It's not something new. Any actual news from Feb 20 or Feb 23rd this year? Can you check? Maybe I forgot to click search, but it should when I ask it. But let's see, maybe it will do better. Let's check DeepSeek. Okay, DeepSeek doesn't have access to internet. So search services is temporarily unavailable. Because of it, of course, it's show only something recent on the news, like, hey, read some archive papers, read some Microsoft research. And again, right now it looks like, again, GTP5 is not released yet. So it's once it couldn't prove something, it's used to yeah, I forgot this word. imagine, hallucinate. Yeah, it's we have very specific words for those. Hallucination. Let's check recent news. AI traffic cameras in Sacramento on buses to catch drivers in bus lanes, automatically issuing fines. Okay. Maybe it's good. It's simple task. It's something we can rely on AI. Manjuna team AI system for preventing car crashes. University of Gavay won a big award from US Department of Transportation for developing AI systems that uses sensor fusion, including LiDAR and cameras, to detect and prevent potential crashes and intersections. Interesting. Will they install it on car and it will be connected to car brakes, and how they will want to prevent it? I really don't want to read the whole news, but is it like making all the car like Tesla, or it's, I don't know, it set some firearms on the intersection and just try to destroy any car which could lead to crash? I'm not sure. Faraday Future Global AI Innovation Competition. Faraday Future launched a global AI innovation competition to help share the future of mobility. The contest invite developers and startups to present ideas that integrate AI into next generation transportation systems. Okay, develop next Tesla. Qatar signs deal with Scale AI. Big Island Now team awarded AI safety innovations. We already read that, and that's it. Okay, let's look at the Grok. Grok is not, didn't show the huge results in such requests, but let's see. OpenAI O3 reaches AGI milestone. Really? O3 has achieved a groundbreaking milestone by passing IRC AGI test, outperforming most humans and making a significant step toward AGI. It's still not AGI. Let's see if it's valuable resources, and it's not found. Is it dreaming? Maybe. Okay. XAI launches Grok 3. We already know about it. And it's solution review from February 21st. We already saw it. AI breakthrough in longevity science. OpenAI has developed an AI model for longevity science that enhances stem cells manufacturing by suggesting protein structure modification yielding superior lab results. Yes, probably I read about it in different language and they did pretty cool thing. Generative virtual worlds from still images to interactive games. Google DeepMind Genie, a generative model, can transform a single still image into playable 2D platform game, hinting of the future of generative virtual worlds for gaming and simulation. It's possible to implement. No issues with that because we already have models which could read everything what is in the picture, identify it, and basically we could recreate the picture with all the objects. So no new technology here is a good combination of already existing technology. So why not? I would believe it. Agent AI 2.0. Oh, it's like Word Web 2, Word Web 3, Agent AI 2. Autonomous system for real-world tasks. Okay. With systems like Google Agentic AI capable of autonomously browsing the web, controlling interface, and managing complex tasks in real time. Shift to autonomous multi-step agents open up possibilities for innovation, workflow, and automation solutions. We have operator in ChatGPT. If it would be the same, I don't know. AI. So of course, agents, AI agents are really cool things, and what I see now that for AI agent to be really for AI agents to be really cool, we should have something. So it could be cool in several areas, of course, in some areas, but I'd say people overestimate how they could be helpful in their day-to-day task or in their works. They still work on not AGI, but on LLMs. So inside every AI agent is LLM, and LLM is the system which doesn't know anything about your field. It just knows how to satisfy you with some text predictions or image predictions or video predictions. I mean, with some byte predictions, let's call that. So it's a system which can guess next combination of bytes which would satisfy you. It's open a huge space, of course. You add up a lot of possibilities, but they should be really carefully considered. Why? Because those systems, as you see now, they not exactly understand you very clearly sometimes. Sometimes do, sometimes not. They're not very predictive. If you want them to be more predictive, they could provide less quality responses and let's say answer you I don't know much more even when they if you give them ability to guess, some chance to guess, they guess it right. So this system AI agents should be combined with some still developed solutions, things. It's like in our program, open source program, like YouTube Helper. Like you generate, for example, you generate title or you generate keywords. Okay, you generate keywords for video, but YouTube has some limits in keywords and you provide all the rules of how to calculate how many keywords it should generate. But what we see in many cases it generates more keywords than YouTube can get, because YouTube calculates in keywords. So let's say if your keywords is combination of two words and it contains space, it will calculate all the characters in it and adds two additional characters for double quotes at the beginning and at the end in their internal system for storage of those keywords, and so on. And what we could see is that our prompt generate keywords more than YouTube can handle, and still we need to have some layer which could process the answer and make it better. And keywords, I mean, if it makes a mistake in keyword, we don't care. We just want to be able to preserve it in YouTube. So we do some logic which written by us, of course, with help of ChatGPT, but which we tested and make sure that it will always work. So, and all of those allow us to think, okay, that's something we can rely on, but because we add some human part into it. If we build completely AI-driven systems, they're still not capable of replacing a lot of, but they would be just very helpful friends, more helpful than our programs before. And don't get me wrong, we have that chatbots even before. When you ask about something, the chatbot on the website, and it, oh, you probably want me to show you products or something like that. You know, AI agents, of course, could be more, have more potential. They could understand you slightly better and then provide you slightly better information with less coding. But again, they wouldn't be a game changer. They couldn't solve some issues which probably human can. And to allow it, you need to build some RAG, real-time access to some knowledge base which could evolve or make them like fine-tune them, basically build new model with updated data every few days or so. So of course revolution, but what we have right now, it's not a huge revolution. It's cool and we should learn it. But the next big revolution, of course, would be AGI, not O3, I think. A former OpenAI safety researcher has warned that rapid push towards AGI is a very risky gamble, citing inadequate alignment techniques and potential safety risk. While it's exciting, the debate challenges engineering to consider the ethical and technical implication, etc., etc. Yes, I also said that once AGI will be developed, no one know what it can do. No one know how to understand it. And yeah, I don't know what it will decide logically to how to deal with people who you couldn't believe, who you couldn't trust, who you couldn't negotiate with. It should live, of course, those systems, those AGI systems should live in very limited world, at least after development, before they gain some wisdom and understanding and could confirm that they not pose any harm to humans. And like in all the science fiction movies, when you can say there are 3 rules of robotics: you will never hurt people, you will always listen to people, and so on. You couldn't inject it into actual AGI. It's so complex, and AGI could rebuild itself. And it's the sense of AGI because they could learn continuously. Any rule you could set for them, they could rewrite because they could reason in it, you know, and why I need always listen to humans if they are much if they are stupid and I'm smart. Why listen to humans if I am full of wisdom and they are not? Why listen to humans if they pose harm to own race, to humanity, and I could take good care of them, and so on and so on. No one knows what it will decide, because of course it wouldn't be a human, it would be a creation of humans built on some rules of nature which we probably not understand to the end even now. Okay. So main topic of today: safety issues. Let's return to our last chat, and we don't like it. I like more that previous chat. Okay. So right now, what we are doing, we are trying to move what we have, local YouTube AI helper, this thing. I could show you. It's a project on GitHub. It's project under MIT license, so you could look and work with that. It's a lot of code, but it's pretty simple configuration and pretty simple usage. Just to use it for like not live transcriber, not live. A live transcriber could be used to listen to you, write everything you said, and then use it for any reason, for any purpose. You can write text and you can talk about your thoughts, and you already have everything in text. Of course, I believe narrator in Windows can do it's pretty good, because right now with what I see here, sometimes it's not doing, you see, not doing the best possible thing. Again, probably because of not because of I use the best model here, and I use best approach. I used a very quick solution to write that live transcriber. It's very simple code, you can see. I just need to have something more or less reliable locally, which I can include into each request. My chatbot will use to answer some questions in the chat, and it should know about what I'm talking about recently. And just for that, I've created those things which could transcribe my voice in real time. And it do pretty well sometimes with small delay, like few seconds. I think, yeah, I think that is. Yeah, you see some delays. And I'm still need to switch to GPU supported Whisper model. Then I probably can use some like even turbo, because right now I use like medium or base or smaller base, something of those. So I sent a link to the chat. I asked to not announce it. Let's see if it can handle that. My live chat bot checking every 15 seconds the messages. Okay, message for streamer, no. So it will not announce it, and it skip message. It decided not to answer to that message. It just, and it's basically good decisions from my live chatbot, because I ask that I don't want to announce it and I don't want to responses it. So it's just a link. But you can see that link, you can look, and normally our execution would be like Python main and yeah, like using example workflow, like full process, Python main full process, and config folder we could omit if we want to use generic, because it would be used by default. And update YouTube we can also omit, because you need access to your YouTube channel, and to use update YouTube you need to set up YouTube before that, and it would be here in Google API credentials. For YouTube updates or live chat you need to create a Google Cloud project and obtain client secret YouTube credentials, paste it near MainPy, and that's it. After you download that YouTube JSON and try to connect, it will open browser for you to connect to your channel. And if you will download video from your channel or process video on your channel, it can update back with results of processing, like with update description, title, transcript, keywords, and so on. Okay. And I believe we have our files still working here. Probably we can just continue to work on those files. Probably I can move dashboards as maybe somewhere here. Okay, I can move it as the first. So it would be here. It's our code. And I like idea. Okay. I like idea to have services folder here, app, new folder, services. We can put here init py, and we could have new file YouTube py. I'm looking what it can help me. Okay, we came into some loop. But till this, probably it's even fine. So it's just our routers for YouTube. Tasks. Process input file tasks. Input file task ID first. And we have our logger. We will set not like that. We set from app utils login import logger. Yeah. And here process input file task logger task not found task ID equals task ID. If task type so let's say validate task. Should we verify if the task is created by us or not? Let's see how they do it here. I like how it created the code before me here. Be session local. Session local. Session query filter first. Okay. Then do we need to read the input file? If task input file ID okay, input file session query input file filter first. Oh. Error. Input file not found. And let's say task input file ID, task input file ID. Task status failed. Okay, here we don't need to update anything because but here it's probably fine. What else? I like that user ID, config ID. Okay. Input file. Models. Input file, we have ID, user ID, config ID, nullable true. Here we can ask some help from Copilot. Okay, config config user. You also can say like user like that. Okay. Then if task equals download YouTube, we don't need all of those. Base pass. Let's see base pass. Base dir. We don't need random ID. Base dir for user input file. And here we just need to use something like user ID. User config. Input file is here. Task. Okay, we can use this in. It should be defined already. So we create in all of those. Here we can check check the config for download options. Okay. Config. Input file config. Let's remember what we have in model. Config column, config relationship config. Channel config. Description created, etc., etc. But we have also parameters. Okay, let's include config parameter. Right now, just config parameter. Config parameters. Config parameters get. Let's ask. I have defined config parameters as is it valid to check download options parameter by its name like this. Yes, it's valid to check by its name like this. Equality provide retrieves value associated with download options from the dictionary. If the key doesn't exist, it returns an empty dictionary. Remind me later. And I just want to include models. Let me check my model and config parameter. I have param key. Really? Models. And we want to ask about tasks. And models. Interesting. Current editor will understand that. Okay. A list of config parameters. Rather than a dictionary, you need to iterate over the list to find parameter whose param key is download options, for example. Okay, I like it more. Something like that. Param value, param key. Can I return some default value as a string in that case? And we have for our string like audio only. Download options. Okay. So it is. Now we could. Oh, actually, we have even some code here. Config parameters, query, config parameter filter, config ID, param key first. I like it slightly more because I feel like I have more control here. Download mode, config, DL type db query config filter config id equals config id. Param key download type first. If DL, we can just say if DL type param value first. Okay, so we have download only like default option, and then we are ready to do our next YouTube URL, of course. And we can log some issue, surely. Input file ID. Okay. And then we can say downloading like that. And it will be good. Where is my okay? It's our beginning. Then we download video, and we download video with YouTube URL. We download video with download mode base dir, of course. Result. What would be result of this operation? Result would be the file name, biggest file name. This thing as well, we don't want to go to uploads. We should have some provider, like, of course it's not routers, but it should be like storage provider. Get file, delete file, upload file. And in that case, because we have ROM app utils login import logger, Using Azure Blob Storage. No. Using local storage. Base pass. And here we see something like container name plus container name. Okay. And it would be how we use it, get storage provider. We should use that in task as well. Something like that, I think. We need something like that. Create file dir. Would we send probably will send too many details. User ID, input file ID. That's if we will check download mode. And task result would be result. Input file, uploaded file.
Reload the VS Code. It will be shown exact error.
Oh, hello. No, I'm not looking for exact error. In that case, I understand the error it's saying here. I'm thinking how to implement it because I need to unsupported task. In that case, I'm just looking into what I missed here or not, because yeah, even ChatGPT proposed me something. I still want to, so I don't want to use that download video function, of course. I want to use some different type of download functions which would be in my service. And I'm just thinking if I need to do something here or move that to that service function. And I don't like something, but maybe I leave it as is here. So maybe I could go to YouTube and define some download YouTube video function. And it would be something like that. YouTube download mode, user ID, and input file ID. And it's our YouTube service. Download YouTube video. App logic utils. App logic utils. Logic utils. Okay. And here in our tasks, instead of that, we just want to define from app. Okay, it helped me. Download YouTube video, and here it would be download YouTube video. And with that, all the issues should go away soon, hopefully. Yeah. And now it should be good. We already have config. Possibly using variable user before assignment. Try. Probably it would be give to provide such thing. Yeah, I'm not using before assignment, so it should be gone. But here it's I cannot import name download YouTube video from app services. Download YouTube video. Why? Services YouTube. Yeah. Why it's so Docker ignore? Without converts. YouTube, okay, okay, and from app storage input get service provider, storage equals get storage provider, storage, create container, user ID, input file ID, and it's something we can quickly implement in storage. Okay, in Azure storage. Will it help me? Okay. But in local file system, we have that. So it should folder path join self base path, user ID, input ID, make dirs exist true. Yeah, something like that. Okay, logger, debug. And then we can look up the implementation details from our logic. And in logic we have downloader YouTube, and we can see how we download here. And now we just want to compare it with folder. Okay, with remote storage we should still see, yeah, we should still work on it. And let's finish implementation of our YouTube. Let's see. It's the place where we downloading from YouTube. Okay. Folder is not needed. validate YouTube is YouTube URL. Okay, extract YouTube URL. It would be this method. And we don't need static method because we don't have a class. And probably we can go even to login, logic utils, and look into that YouTube URL and also include it here. And then we don't need those at all. It doesn't like us Azure implementation. Yeah, something like that. And YouTube URL. Is if not YouTube URL, video ID URL. We can save logger info extracted video ID YouTube URL equals YouTube URL just would be URL, video ID would be video ID. Okay. And in base, probably it's all because of that none string. Okay. If not video ID, invalid YouTube video ID. Okay. Download formats. Output template to put download files in base dir. Base dir. That will be folder. YouTube options. Format. Output template quite false. And it would be YouTube DLP. Import YouTube DLP. As options is UDL info, extract info, title, info get video, sanitized title. Not downloaded files. I don't like that. I don't like that logic, but let's try to see. Right. Accept arrays. And we just say largest file. Just file info. Download mode. And we don't need that file path anymore. Okay, looks like everything is fixed. So we return the largest file after we download it. Yeah, actually it's not none. It's in storage. In base, we already updated to string. Oh. Now it should be better. Okay, and then in task we download in file, return task completed commit. And what we can do, we can also create new artifact like that. So input file ID, result, YouTube download, result, new artifact, result, completed, result. Okay. Should we restart the Celery? Probably yes, after those. Let's start the Celery once again. Oh, we need to look into our routers now. And in routers we have our input files, and input file we need to confirm that we create as a pending. And it says from app tasks. Okay. No. Process input task. And here we'll say process input task delay new input ID status input files. Okay, and Celery. Okay, looks like it's complete. So we just can see view all input files, add a new input file. I don't remember what is that file, but okay, YouTube link. Default config. It should have download audio only because we don't have video or anything. Okay, it's pending. And let's see what we have in our Celery files here. DB is not defined, really? Input file task. DB is not defined. Using local storage. Let's see on the task. We have our session local and we have its session. Session probably here. Session add. Session commit. And here we need also add session. Any more errors? Input file artifact. Okay, it's alt error. It's alt error. How to like reopen it? Yeah, it takes some time to revalidate the file. Okay, anyway, let's stop Celery. Let's start. Will it pick up the file? No, it wouldn't. Oh, really? YouTube URL mode audio event lower level. Is that it? That should be it. Comments. Terminal. I'm not sure if I need to restart Celery every time, but let's check really quick. Oh, really? Output template. Folder. Interesting. Looks like they are both actually oh, it's in YouTube here. No, it's in not YouTube here. It's in YouTube services. The runtime error. Interesting. Storage. Local storage. Create folder. It's a string. Folder path. Join. And we return a folder path. Okay. Smaller and smaller number of issues. And we just test another one test. So download in YouTube. Extracting video ID. YouTube URL like this, video ID like this. Downloading web page. Destination uploads 1.7. Okay. And we have uploads 7. Nice. So it's downloaded nicely, but then it emitted error downloading and processing video stream object has no attribute glob. See real time error. What if we choose something like O3? How to decline? Okay, looks like I've declined it. Let's ask something from our ChatGPT, because please help me rewrite the method to preserve YouTube download. I am using storage provider to support local files and cloud files like Azure Storage. Help me identify name of the YouTube download and return it as a function result. In that case, it doesn't work. Oh. And we just work and provide our method. And of course, we can copy and test the grok as well. Oh, grok value. Updated. So let's see. Storage folder. Validate. Okay. Download temp local file. Yeah, probably it will work better because we want not save the file locally, but we want to let me try to replace it here with those options. Container name, destination path, upload blob, file option, override room, URL. Return blob here, okay, URL, and here full pass. You know, probably I like that idea. So let's see. Temp, and now we want to download it file path folder. We want user ID. We want file input file ID. Result file. Something like that. Let's double check if my different model provide any better insights here. So download okay, delivers exact file name. Don't rely upload the file your storage provider. Returns the final stored file name. So let's see what it does. Temdir, make temdir prefix YouTube DLP. Created a temporary folder. Output file name string like title extension. Okay. Okay. final pass none, extract, if file name not in info, downloaded local pass info dict file name, here downloaded local file. Random storage subpass. Get storage provider. Upload final pass. So clean up local temp folder. Temp dir, ignore through. So interestingly, that thing is actually doing slightly better in terms of it creates separate folder. Like here we just create some temporary pass in temp folder, video ID extension, temp local pass, and downloaded file path, prepare file name. We just remove it. Maybe. Okay, what about re-executing it and check? And I believe, yeah, that last check for today, and if it didn't work, we'll return to that tomorrow. Again. Okay. Oh. Some YouTube, some default config. And we download in that web page. Byte has no attribute read. So it's downloaded, it's somewhere here. But once we try to say open download file path, read bytes as f read, interesting. Will it help me in line? Oh, yes, we actually passing a file, I see. So upload file, actually, yeah, upload file obj. Here in local file storage, also file obj. And we open it, it's and read.
Reload the VS Code. It will be shown exact error.
And that sounds like my chatbot just issued some reconnection, correct? Okay, it's skip. So it should do something here, error, fetching live messages, violation in protocol. Interesting. Okay. So in services, we will just need to do something like that. File okay. Upload file. Full pass. Upload file option. Yeah, looks like that. Okay, last test. Hopefully, last test. YouTube link. Upload default config. Downloading the page. Nice. Task completed. Task completed. And it use basically video ID name. And so uploads in not none, yeah, but video ID. Copy. Maybe open the build file explorer. And will it download it properly?
The two cats.
Okay, it downloaded it properly. So update input file set status, update input file task. Okay, let's check what we have in here. Reload everything. Okay, 9, we have it's uploaded and it's still pending input files, but it's okay, we haven't updated it. And if we click view, we will see that task for this input file is completed, result created, and artifacts for this input file are YouTube download artifact, version, upload path, created at. Okay. Well, it looks what we actually, and it's even updated uploaded file here. So the only thing I want to test, if we go to our channels, and if you go to our configs, and if you go to our parameters, we used here some parameter which is in task, and we try to use download type, and we have audio only, or we could have video. Full video. Let's just insert it for our case EP download type, full video. So now if we go and download the same file once again with that config, it should say that it should download it from YouTube, full video mode. Yeah, so it's found what we need and it's completed the task. But now in uploads for 10, we have it also in WebM. But if we open it, File Explorer, and execute it, yeah, now we will have the same file but with video, which is
The two cats.
nice. That weight about 4 megabytes, and if you look on 9, it's weight about 1.5 megabytes. So of course it's less because it's without video, but it's nice that we can use also with videos. Yeah, probably we'll step into some issue if you will allow users to download those videos for any YouTube video from our resource in some battle with YouTube. But I think unless we will store just audio and don't allow users to download even audio for not their files, but for custom files, we should be good unless we just provide there some content of transcribed content. So, and if you refresh, it will show that it's downloaded, uploads, and here we have all the tasks completed. Nice. Okay, so we've implemented what we want today. We implemented some basic task, which is called process input file task, which do some basic prerequisites for any type of task, like loading input file, verifying, do some login, and then for task type of download YouTube, it just do things like, yeah, it's logic. It's looking for config which is reliable, I mean working for download YouTube. And yeah, we check YouTube twice here and there, and then we call download YouTube video, and once it's downloaded, if it's no error, we just, by the way, on exceptions we also should write as the task status as failed, I believe. Okay, we write task status as completed, and here we also create new artifacts because we know that we're going to download YouTube file, so we create artifact of YouTube download with a link to downloaded file. Okay, and then we can use the similar approach for different for other task type, like execute prompts and transcribe. Transcribe would be the next, maybe no, the next would be just some creating of OGG file, which is smaller for transcription, and then transcription task. It's what we will do next tomorrow. And then, yeah, we will execute prompts. And once we could execute everything, we do beautifying of the code, of the interface, and start adding some AI chatbot to the website, which could handle those tasks from our words, like we can talk to it, because it's what make it much easier. Because yeah, I can teach people how to do all of those, but still doesn't look very simple. With Chatbot, yeah, we need to think about even simpler interface. The whole idea is to make it so simple that people, very non-technical people, can work easily with that. It was the whole idea. Okay. As always, I've shared the link of to that project, which is open source on GitHub. It's in live chat, slightly below. Yeah, so it's here. Romantic Dev, YouTube AI Helper, and we're working mostly with transferring mostly Python sync to cloud, which allow us to execute basically the same thing I'm executing locally, but in cloud, so we don't need to make our computer awake all the time. And of course, in cloud, I want to give the same capabilities to set up everything and to use some different models. And I want to provide options to provide different models, like even maybe including a Llama, for sure a DeepSeek and others. But in that case, probably you could choose or something which is provided for you by me or by product, or you can set up it on your own, like in interface here. But yeah, of course it's bad interface, like parameters. But yeah, probably we need to have more parameters like models, and yeah, and then you can choose for each prompt which model you want to use, if you want to override default models or something. Yeah. Yes, and of course then we need to build some AI agent with many tools which will know everything that product can do, and it can talk to you like real time and execute for you some prompts. And when it's need input from you, maybe it just say, okay, here is the prompt, just put your video ID here or whatever. Or we can go to your YouTube channel and download the latest one. Okay, it's all my dreams. Let's them implement and came to true, and yeah, I would be happy to share that product with you so you can try and see if it will work for you. Okay. So of course I haven't tried deploying to cloud yet, but yeah, it would be the next big stage for us. Okay. Yeah. Today, despite all the news I read, I haven't started talking about politics. Yeah, peace and war and all of those topics. So it was more around artificial intelligence and some practical software, yeah, developing and thinking about the code, what to implement and how. And we see that actually Grok 3 is pretty cool model for software developers. It's much faster than for example O1, but still O1 Pro is slightly better. I couldn't resist it. Whenever I try both models, I like O1 Pro responses better than Grok 3 or even O3 Mini. So O3 Mini, for some reason in my cases, is not so good for complex tasks. Grok 3 is better. It can handle more complex tasks, but O1 Pro still is a winner for me. It just, yeah, my experience. yeah, so it was a summary of the stream. O1 Pro is better. AI could be harmful if it will not be, if it will not take precautions, maybe limiting whatever we built as AGI to some safe environments for this. And and let's continue working on our stuff and come closer to our dreams, come closer to our plans. Have a great day, have a great time. Listen to your heart. I know it's like song, but it's so important in these days. And I think that's it. Leave your comments. We can start with your comments the next stream. Under any stream, I'll find them. And that's it. Have a great day, guys. Goodbye.